Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. I'm Scab. You're not. I'm your host. Probably said that way too damn early. Listen, this is the 5 Max. Now, this was gifted to me by Jacob Lamb. Jacob is a brother from another mother, an awesome guy. And he actually gifted this to me some time ago, and I've just enjoyed carrying it. I was thinking today, man, cold steel will always hold a special place in my heart. It's what I built the channel around when I first started. I like it, and I'm unapologetic about it. I enjoy what they do, and I don't get wrapped up in the dumb shit as much as I can. But here's the truth. If I need a solid work knife or camp knife, or I want to go hiking, or I'm going to do something, or I know I'm going to use my knife a lot, I carry a cold steel. I have about 40 of their folders, and I just like them. Why? They're dependable. They're well built. Now, I don't get into the different company and all that. I do believe in Lynn We Trust. Huge Lynn Thompson fan, and people say, well, it's gone downhill. I don't know. I'm not a guy that calls companies and deals with customer service. Never have. Probably never will. It's not my shtick. It's not my thing, right? The 5 Max is a monster, and we use that term a lot in the knife world, monster or beast of a blade. Now I want you to look right here. If you're familiar with the 4 Max Scout or the 4 Max, there's a 4 Max up against the 5 Max, and of course I had to show. There we go. That a Boy Scout. It just dwarfs it. It's like the 4 Max against the 8010. This thing is a monster. Cold steel does a couple things well, no matter who owns it or whatever. The first thing they do well is they make big knives that are easy to carry. People always, and you know who has never in their life carried a cold steel. You know by the comments. I'll know by the comments on this video. You know who has, because you get the fanboys. I get it from both ends. Let me just say this to everybody. I don't give a shit. I own more cold steel than most of y'all. To be honest, I know I own more than most fanboys. I love it. But I don't mind having people having an opinion. What I mind is when it's wrong, or when it's formed on looks alone, when they don't have a clue what they're talking about. There's nothing I can do about that. It's the internet, and everybody has their safe spaces and all that shit. But what I'm telling you is if you've never carried one, just shut up, because you don't know. And the truth of the matter is, if you carried one, you may still not like the knife, but there's nobody that can deny that it doesn't carry well. Carries very well in the pocket. It really does. It's almost like it's not there, which is an amazing thing. This, the Espada, now they're huge knives, and I love big knives as much as anybody. Let's jump into this one. Most of the people who've already left got mad at me, and I'm used to that. This is the 5 Max. It was designed by Andrew Demko. S35V in steel, G10 handle scales. Has the triad lock. We used to say it was like Chuck Norris on steroids of locks. It's 4.8 millimeters blade thickness, somewhere in there. The overall length, now I pulled all the measurements myself. I went on Cold Steel's website and I cross-compared. I do that because I just like seeing for myself. I'm that guy, right? I like testing knives for myself. I like doing different things with them for myself. I like to know myself. It's nothing against anyone. There's some very, very good knife reviewers online. They do a great job, right? They're not me. So I like doing it myself, right? Did I tell you I like doing it myself? Here's the deal. On the website, it's got it at 12 1/8 overall length. I pulled it 12 inches dead nuts open, right? What was interesting, the blade length is 5 inches. Now closed, the knife is 7 1/8. So it is 12 1/8 if you add them together. But if you pull it all at once open, I got 12 inches. The blade length's 5 inches. The cutting edge 4 7/8. The blade width is 1 3/4 inches. That's a slicey sumbitch. Closed, the knife is 7 1/8. The inner grip, there's not a human being on this planet that could not hold this knife. It's 5 inches. I think that's one of the most important measurements on a knife. The handle thickness is 1/2 inch. The weight is 12.4 ounces. Now it's a big knife. That's why I'm so impressed with the way their knives carry. Right now, I have the 5 Max in my pocket. I have a Tylite 6-inch. There you go, Scab. Throw it across the yard. Y'all know I carry a bunch of knives. I'm a knife channel, it's what I do. But I'm telling you, man, it's like nothing's there. That's what I really enjoy. That's the first thing. The second thing is they make tanks. They just do. I've got some of their swords. I've got some of their battle axes. I've got a bunch of their knives. They make tanks. They make shit that will hold up. There's always going to be a one-off, right? I think at one point I owned 150 pieces of cold steel. I think I've told y'all, there's been 2 knives that I just didn't like in that 150 pieces, right? They just didn't appeal to me. Of those 2, one was bad. I think it was a poor heat treat. That ain't bad, guys, for production run stuff. Now, again, I don't get into the company. I don't know your experience. If it's bad, I'm sorry. I've had nothing but positive, but that's because I either buy the knife or somebody sends me the knife and I check it out. That's it. I don't get that involved. I'm not going to get that involved. I enjoy doing this, but I want to say thank you to you guys too. I can pick up a cold steel knife, man. I don't give a shit what kind of mood I'm in. I can pick up a cold steel knife, do a review on it, and it just puts me in a better mood. They're fun. Some of them are outrageous. Some of them are outlandish. People say, oh, they're not practical. Isaac from Isaac's Knives and Knowledge had the best quote ever in the history of YouTube. If you love a knife enough, you'll make it practical. You know how you make a knife practical? By using it, by building a skill set. Doesn't matter if you agree or not, that's true. If I gave you a 5 max, dropped you off on a deserted island, left you there and you had food, you had all the things to survive nutrient wise, but you had to build, you had to use that knife. When I picked you up in 2 months, if you didn't stab me with a knife, you would be probably one of the most proficient people on this earth with it. Why? The more you use a knife, the more you use your tool, the better off you are. Now, I tried to do a double there. I left it in. I told y'all the other day, I just enjoy doing these. And I thought, not everything has to be perfect. Pissed me off pretty bad. And what I mean is when I stack the bottles, I usually in a short, I'll double tap 2. The timing was off, but I wanted to show it to you. Went straight through it, sliced it quickly. The knife felt good. It was easy to control. I just had bad timing. Then I like throwing it into my board. Now that's a mud flap. I just like doing some hard throws, right? You don't baton with a pocket knife. I know that. I do because I'm a knife channel. Now, we did some batoning. I banged on the knife a little bit. We threw it a lot. There was a lot of hard downward throws. The knife got no blade play, none. No wiggle, closed or open. No chips, no damage, nothing like that. That's what I'm saying, man. Now, my all-time favorite cold steel pocket knife is the Rajah 2. It always has been, it always will be. If you did the opposite and said, Scab, we're dropping you off on a deserted island, I'll be honest with you, I might take another brand for my belt knife and chopper. In fact, I would. But when it comes to the pocket knife portion, I'm carrying a cold steel. I'm carrying my Rajah 2 because I'm comfortable with it. It's a folding kukri. And listen, I've heard people say, well, the triad lock's as good as a fixed blade. Well, that's not the case, but it's close. It's the best lock out there. It's insanely tough. And I never do believe in overbuilt, right? Overbuilt, to me, is just not a good term. They're made for a purpose. They're made to have fun. They're made to work with. They're made to beat the shit out of. We see it every day on the internet. People have been beating the shit out of cold steel knives since day one of YouTube, including the cold steel guys. Some of my most favorite videos. Overall, the comfort in hand was amazing. I love this knife. I love the balance. I love the weight. I love the feel. And if you've tuned me out and just watched how much stuff we've cut, dude, I cut a ton in this video. Way more than I normally do, and I normally cut a lot. I stabbed. I did some extension cord slicing. And then we stripped some wire. We did a little bit of everything we always do, but I did it with a point and a purpose in mind. I am a fan of S35VN. It's not a matter of loving super steels or being a steel snob. I love S35VN, and I started loving it because of the way Cold Steel does it. They do it, by the way, cheaper than anybody else, which makes you go, right? They can make some of my favorite, one of my all-time favorites is the Recon 1 or the 8010. They can make a knife with S35VN for lower than anybody else, and they do it well. Again, you may have a different experience. I'm not here to dispute that. I'm not here to say it's a damn knife. I'm not the QVC. Buy them, I don't give a shit. I enjoy doing this. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for making this channel what it is, man. You guys, if I'm having a bad day, I can go through the comments, and there's always going to be the idiots, but you guys outnumber them 1,000,000,000 to 1. And I just want to say thank you. I know we've been a little different on this video. I wanted you just to kind of watch the knife work because it's phenomenal. Jacob, thank you so much for the gift. Cold Steel, good job on this particular knife, man. You guys are slaying it. Somebody will disagree, and that's okay. We're at this point in the video, guys. There was a time, and I'm using it as a hammer. There was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. We're headed into the weekend. What does that mean, Scab? Well, it means the number's going to be up near 29 or 30. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. And vets, all that means is simply this. We love you. You have a place here. That's it. I'm not a charity. I don't try to be. We're here for you if you need us. If you can watch an idiot, that would be me. Run around with a knife and get your mind off things. You're welcome here. I back to blue. It's not popular. I'm not here to be popular. I have my own reasons, and they're not at all what you think they are. I don't shove it down your throat. That wouldn't be right to do. Finally, if you are an addict, and I am, most certainly am, never quit quitting. Well, guys, man, thank y'all. Let's head into the weekend. Jacob, again, thank you, brother. This thing is badass. It is a beast. You'll see more videos of it. We'll get more in depth. I just wanted to give you a good overall look. But remember this, kids. I'm Scab. You're not. And I'm gone, son. In Lynn, we trust. Keep that in your mind, folks.